Grummz calls for Second Wind co-founder Nick Calandra to be banned from Twitterman X, YouTube, Discord, and Patreon for doxing him. Oh boy, we got ourselves a slobber knocker! Greetings once again, my friends, and welcome back to the GNRO Minicast. I am your host, Adam Mickelson, aka Drak. I hope everybody's having an awesome day or night when you're listening to this. And once again, we have another awesome article brought to us by John F. Trent and That Park Place in regards to the Grummz doxing situation, which I've been very interested in getting involved with, especially since I'd even made my opinions clear to Grummz as well as to Smash JT, which his situation I haven't really covered. But let's go ahead and get into it, because this is a pretty dire situation and one that I think we ought to be paying attention to. Mark Kern, aka Grummz, called for Second Wind co-founder and editor-in-chief Nick Calandra to be banned from Twitterman X, YouTube, Discord, and Patreon for doxing him. Now, that might seem like something that we would expect, I don't know, Alyssa Mercante to demand, but frankly, there's reasoning for this. So at that point, that's why I'm on Grummz's side here. In fact, I think, and as I've told Grummz as well as Smash JT, you need to lawyer up, because these assholes need to learn that there are actual real-world consequences to their actions, and they will not stop until they do. In a post to Twitterman X, Grummz wrote, "I just got doxed. My family has been doxed. Second Wind and former EIC of Escapist, Nick Calandra, has weaponized his Discord server and is encouraging his thousands of Patreon supporters to dox me. They did." He continued, "And unlike certain other journalists who don't post receipts, I will. My addresses were posted, among other details about people they assume are me. Instead of banning the user who did so, and who later edited his post to Nick's secret to obscure my address, but only after it was seen by thousands, instead, Nick encouraged them to do more, and to avoid further TOS violations, asked that the information be sent to him in a secret to avoid Discord disciplinary action." So we're gonna do it behind everybody's back. Totally nothing illegal gonna be happening in any way, shape, or form, or abusive for that matter. These users go unpunished by his moderation team. Instead, they are praised. And the funniest part about all of this is I'm probably going to be putting up a picture on this just so that you guys can get a viewpoint into my line of thinking, and probably even Grummz's way of thinking here. So this is the Second Wind Patreon that earns roughly $52,000, almost $53,000 a month. And they are using that money as a paywall to conduct shit like this. And this is why I do think that Grummz is warranted in his accusations, unlike others who have done so. Because he actually has the receipts, he can prove that the illegal actions are happening. I do not agree that what happens on Twitter should be disciplined on YouTube. This is one of those cases where everything just kind of bleeds together and thus needs to have that unilateral action. So yeah, this is probably also one of the big reasons why I'm discussing this. So let's go ahead and continue on. Next, Grummz wrote, "Nick has been stalking me and tweeting about me for almost 2 months non-stop, as most gaming urinalists are, and is so hot to get me that he was fooled by one of my supporters into publishing a story on Twitterman X from a user whose name was a sting, an anagram for URINALIST." People have been wondering why I've been using that term. I love it now, because he fell for it. And this guy purports to be a journalist, much like people like Alyssa Mercante. Oh, she'll get her day again. "This is disgusting behavior, and a dangerous one. There have been multiple documented threats on my life, including cash bounties," yes, those exist, "and Nick is happy to enable these violent people and arm them with the information that could lead to violence against myself, my wife, and my children. Or do I have to remind people of the other asshole who wanted to string up friends and family of people that they disagree with? Because I'm guaranteeing you, Nick and him, very much in agreement. Anyone who joins Nick's Patreon has access to his Discord, to this Discord server that is focused on doing me harm. there are 13,700 plus members who have participated in this dox or been exposed to it, not to mention the fact that they've opened Discord up to it, they've opened Patreon up to it because of the paywall, and I'm going to guarantee that the other services that Second Wind is providing are also all open to litigation should anything major happen. And also, he didn't point this out, but I'll go ahead and do it. We've also had people die due to doxings. So yeah, we should probably take that shit seriously. From there, Grummz called for Twitterman X, YouTube, Patreon, and Discord to ban Calandra. Yeah, I think he's got the receipts to be able to say that. I am calling on Discord, YouTube, Patreon, and Twitterman X to permanently ban Nick Calandra and his weaponized Patreon and Discord server, as well as the users who have engaged in this violation of TOS. This has to stop. There are thousands of users in his Discord who now have my personal information. They are also trying to dox members of my own community. Nick published GigaBear's Patreon's email. So, yay! Yeah, this is totally the information that I want to have in the hands of people who hate everything about what Grummz stands for. And primarily, they only hate him on his political or personal or life beliefs instead of, that he's actually done horrible, evil things. Well, to them, it is horrible, evil things. But that's beside the point. They're all crazy. Grummz then called out Calandra as a hypocrite. He calls me a grifter, but earns over $54,000 a month. Granted, it's an organization, but he's part of it. Attacking me and enabling violence against me by egging on his community. My thanks to one of my supporters, GigaBear, who reported this to me after going undercover in Nick's Discord server. And I'm so glad, by the way. Thank you, GigaBear, for putting a nice big spotlight on shit like this, because I'm guaranteeing you this shit's happening in Discords and Slacks and everything you can think of under the sun. And the second that it gets any kind of light shined upon it, it is then deleted and they just move somewhere else. And frankly, I would like to do that as much as possible, enough to a point where they have nowhere else to hide to talk about this bullshit. And during this, I will also have up the initial tweet that Grummz put out. Kern has been the subject of multiple bounties of being placed on his head after announcing his campaign to get Stellar Blade uncensored, because he's been one of the biggest advocates for Stellar Blade. If you remember the hashtag Free Stellar Blade, which I believe is still going strong, he is still part of that. Twitterman X user Toneman posted 20k to anyone that makes this dipshit disappear. So there you go. There's the receipt for people who are asking for his death, or basically putting out hits for them. Twitch streamer Denims would then raise the bounty on Kern to 30,000. Oh, that's even better. Look, I'll up the number, okay? 30k to anyone who will make this dipshit disappear and make Eve's breasts bigger, like you have to do both, all right? Because then it's a win-win for me. I get more breasts and I don't have to see that moron on my timeline anymore. So if you think about it, again, more documented evidence of 30k, of a 30k hit being put out on Grummz for simply having different opinions. Grummz shared the clip and posted, Twitch streamer Denims ups my bounty to 30,000 while reacting to Asmongold's video about Toneman's death threat against me. This is getting out of hand. This should be a permanent suspension on Twitch and Twitterman X. Yes, because it violates TOS. For both. I'm guaranteeing you it does. Also, FBI should be looking into this. Well, they're not going to do anything. They're on the same side of the political spectrum. Calandra also admitted that he was fooled as part of the sting operation by GigaBear. GigaBear shared to Twitterman X, for weeks, Nick Calandra of Second Wind has been publishing an endless stream of smears and baseless claims against Grummz and myself. I sought to demonstrate how desperate this man is to publish anything he can use to that end, no matter how flimsy or lacking of corroboration or veracity. So I sent him an anonymous email with a story too good to be true. I then posted a tiny fraction of the supposed conversation to my Twitter, knowing that where attacking Grummz is concerned, he would immediately run the story before he had even verified it, and he did just that, like any of those jackasses that like to be called journalists would, by the way. And yet, people still rely on them. Why is that? Rusty Nail does not exist. In fact, Rusty Nail is an anagram for urinalist. The project I supposedly backed does not exist. The conversation is a complete fabrication made in page source between two of my own Discord accounts. And he fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. So there you go. That's the tweet. I am so happy that he did that. Good job, GigaBear, because they really did need to be caught in the act at this point. After being exposed, Calandra posted, well, fair enough. He seems to have got me on this. I'll happily retract. And then you went back to your Discord and probably whined about it. The constant manipulation and lying is hard to verify, and he faked an identity. No, it's not that hard to verify. A lot of the lies that you guys have been putting out, and by that I mean Gaming Urinalists have been putting out, have been very easy to verify. I mean, do I need to remind you of the stuff you were saying about Hyungtae Kim and the fact that he has never felt the touch of a woman? And all it took, for me at least, was 2 Google searches to be able to find out that A, he's married, B, she works on the same fucking game, and C, she referred the model they used for Eve. It didn't take that long. How is it that you cannot do what I could do in 2 Google searches, Nick Calandra, Alyssa Mercante, so many others? I gave him the benefit of the doubt, hoping to help get his money back, and he used that. Oh, poor baby. What do you make of Grummz' accusations against Calandra? What about his call to have Calandra banned? Here's my ultimate opinion on this. Yes. What, you wanted more than that? I don't need to. The evidence is all here. All of the receipts in this article alone are enough of a violation for any of these media outlets, aka, or social media, YouTube, Patreon, Discord, Twitter, Man X. These are all verifiable evidence to be able to say you violated TOS and you should not be on this platform. I don't see where the problem is. All Grummz would have to do is basically say, yeah, he's been doing this. Also, by the way, Second Wind, even though it's an organization, I am so surprised that they are still up and running, considering that he was a staff member when this happened. I know that they have since separated themselves from Nicky Boy, but the bottom line is he was doing this while receiving said Patreon money. So I have 2 problems with this. One, with Patreon for condoning this kind of behavior that clearly I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty 100% sure that it violates their terms of service. So at that point, they should be getting some kind of sanction or fine or suspension, something to that effect. And also, to all the fucking lemmings that are still paying the $52,000 a month, what the fuck is wrong with you? This guy wanted someone to actually issue the hit and actually commit it against another human being. That human being was a father and a husband, which means that his death would now impact others, aka you would have created your own fucking victims out of this. And I would not have felt sorry for you in the slightest. Do you want to know the difference between why I support Grummz in this action as opposed to others? Is that those others have actually created victims in their wake. You can make the argument that Grummz has as well by basically pissing off all of these people, but frankly, yeah, they might consider themselves victims, but in the grand scheme of things, are they? They're victims of their own damn incompetence is what they are victims of. So at that point, yeah, go at it, Grummz. I hope that you are able to get everything on them. And once again, I said it to him. I'll say it on here as well. These people, these jackasses, will not stop until they have real life consequences in front of them. This is why I told Grummz and Smash JT, lawyer the fuck up, and if anything can be charged, or at least in some way issue some kind of a charge against them, yeah, they're poor as fuck, you're not gonna get any money back, but they ain't gonna stop until they actually have to get served and realize they have to lawyer up. Oh wait, with what money? These actions are reprehensible. They should not be happening, and the only way to get them to stop is by issuing real-world actions and consequences upon these jackasses. And I would recommend that to anybody else here if you're dealing with that as well. impose real-world consequences. Otherwise, shit ain't gonna change. And that's my viewpoint on this particular story. What do you guys think? Feel free to leave comments down below. And I'm sure that there will be many of them that I will disagree with, and, well, I couldn't give two fucks about whether or not I hurt your fifis. Also, consider leaving a like on the video and consider subscribing, because it tells the YouTube gods that, well, shit like this should not be ignored, as well as having conversations about stuff like this shouldn't be ignored, or suppressed, or whatever words you want to be able to use. And that'll go ahead and do it for me. Special thanks over to John, as well as That Park Place, for the article, and special props over to Grummz. I hope that you're able to get any kind of courses of action on Nick Calandra, because he definitely deserves it. And that'll go ahead and do it for me. So I'll see you guys next time for the next GNRO Minicast. Until then, take care, my friends.